No human lays eggs. Why are they making this about trans people? Do you lay eggs? Hey Spuds, how's it going? It's Jamie. Welcome back to another video, your first video on the channel. I don't know, but welcome either way. I'm very glad to have you here. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're going to enjoy this video. It's a funny one. This is not a bad one, most of the time. Some things can be a little bit meh, but honestly, this is funny overall. This is just people really misunderstanding trans people, what it means to be trans, what medically transitioning does. Bad trans understanding. That's not how trans works. All the bad trans anatomy. I love looking at bad trans anatomy. Basically, this is just a lot of things about trans people getting completely lost in translation. Translation, see what I did there. Also, talking of translation, before we get on with today's video, I want to talk about today's video sponsor, Babbel. Did you like that? I thought that was quite smooth. Babbel is a language app that teaches you real-world practical conversations in the language you want to learn. Personally, I am learning French. I've always wanted to be able to speak a second language, and I'm extra motivated because my partner and her family speak Mauritian Creole, which overlaps a lot with French. So therefore, I'm learning French, and my partner fills in the differences between French and Creole, and then we're hoping to teach our kids. For whatever reason you may have for wanting to learn a new language, give Babbel a go. It's great for when you're on the go or if you don't have the most amount of time to fit in language learning because it has 10-minute interactive language lessons, as well as multiple different ways to learn, so not just lessons but also podcasts, games, videos and live classes with top teachers. So you can find the way of learning that works best for you. And with a 20-day money-back guarantee, it's definitely worth giving a go and seeing where Babbel can take you.
Les toilettes.
Le guichet.
Le guichet.
L'office de tourisme. La pharmacie. Le guichet.
Since starting to learn French, I've actually noticed that I can pick up the gist of conversations that my partner's family has in Creole. I actually get some of it. So if you want to try learning another language, then go click the link in my description box to get 65% off your subscription. And now on with the bad trans anatomy. Whatever, honestly, changing your gender is like super against all science and health and medicine, but whatever. You still can't grow an X chromosome, whatever you do. ... Oh, honey. This is very wrong on multiple levels. One, trans people don't change their gender. My gender has always been man. Gender equal man. Also, being trans and transitioning is not in any way against science or against medicine or anything. It's not bad for your health. This is just multi-layers of wrong. Trans women on hormones do not have an advantage. That's just obviously dishonest of you. Yes, they do. Science proves it. Read the link. Also, their exoskeleton is different. Heart rate and blood pressure, etc. Dishonesty is pretending that male biology is the same as women. Okay. Science proves it. Proves it. Also, I don't think they know what an exoskeleton is. Or either I have very misunderstood what an exoskeleton is because I was pretty sure that was like the insects and like crabs and stuff where the skeleton is on the outside. Exoskeleton. But they're trying to say that heart rate and blood pressure is an exoskeleton, which I really don't think it is. I'm assuming that this is talking about trans women in women's sports, and honestly, I wish that people who clearly have not read about it and don't know enough will stop talking with such authority. Science proves it. Exoskeleton. Okay, sorry, but I think kids should be fully grown before trying to transition. Well then surely they wouldn't be kids, so you're saying that kids shouldn't transition at all. The body has to grow first, at least 18. Talking needs to be done and with families. Imagine a girl 17 years old on hormonal transitioning to a boy, ripping the arms off themselves. That is very messy. I do not think any trans person ever has ripped their arms off in the process of transitioning. What does that even... Is that a saying that I just don't know? I mean, lovely bit of misgendering. I guess in their eyes, I would have been that 17-year-old. I am now 28. Have zero regrets. I'm very happy. And I could not imagine having waited for any more time. I'm so grateful that I got to transition when I did. Also, a lot of talking is done. Like, a lot of talking. Talking occurs, okay? Do not talk about a process that you clearly just don't know how it works. So with HRT, do your dick and balls just disappear after a while, or is it just small but there? This doesn't make me mad, it's just so funny. I'm assuming they're talking about trans women, and yes, you start taking estrogen and poof, just gone. Everyone remember when you could be a tomboy and it didn't mean you wanted to inject yourself with hormones? Being trans is very different to being a tomboy, and tomboys are not told that they are trans or forced to transition or injected with hormones. I'm just so fascinated by the conspiracy theories that transphobes have. Real trans people exist, but they are men. Real trans people exist, but they are men. I am a real trans person. I am a man. Are they trying to invalidate trans men by calling them women, or trans women by calling them men? And also trans men by saying they don't exist, or trans women by saying they don't exist because they're not men. What? That came out very high-pitched. So you were born with tits. Something's not adding up. Nobody is born with tits. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Nobody is. That's something that happens at puberty or when taking estrogen. Female platypuses. I always assumed the plural of platypus would be platypi. Female platypuses don't have vaginas. They have a cloaca. I hope I said that right. Or cloaca, which is a single hole for pee, poo, sex, and eggs. Eggs, which they lay. Oh yeah, because a platypus. Such a funny word, I love it. A platypus lays eggs but is technically a mammal. They're very interesting animals. That was from the Vagina Museum. And somebody quote retweeted saying, "So now you're able to define female." I don't know the wider context, but that sounds like at some point the Vagina Museum has supported trans people and therefore not defined women as simply people with vaginas, because regardless of trans people or not, that's just a rude way to define people, isn't it? But yes, the definition of female is laying eggs. Having one hole, everything comes out. Like, you lay eggs as well. No human lays eggs. Why are they making this about trans people? Do you lay eggs? It's so funny because trans people on estrogen literally have female heart attack symptoms depending on how long you're on them. And the majority of differences between male and female bodies are hormone related. Skin texture, fat distribution, metabolic rate, some see changes in height. So many of the differences, so many of them are down to hormones. So much about me has changed by taking testosterone. My strength, my muscle mass, my weight, my voice, my hair, body, head, facial, all of it. My skin texture, my smell, the smell of my pee. It changes so much. My body shape, like, oh my god. I cannot even get into how much it has changed. Somebody replied to this, short, with wide hips, a cervix and an extra rib, all from hormones. Sure. Yes, because all people who are assigned female are short. I mean, I can personally dispel that one. I was assigned female at birth. I'm 6'1", and testosterone didn't make me grow any more. These are all things, particularly short and wide hips, definitely short and wide hips, that not all people assigned female even have in the first place. Not everybody that a transphobe would define as a woman is short with wide hips and has a cervix and an extra rib. It's just so strange. All British male comedians are biological females. This is a whole conspiracy theory that, like, celebrities are all trans or something. It's really strange, and I don't know if the people that share it actually think it's real. Prove me wrong. Simon Pegg, Peter Kay, Sean Locke, Ricky Gervais, Billy Connolly, Harry Hill, Lee Mack, John Richard, son. Why John Richard? Son. Do they really believe that? All British comedians who are men are trans men. What? Because LGBTQ plus ID ideology is homophobic. LGBTQ plus ID ideology is homophobic. What's LGBTQ plus ID ideology? I don't know what. This isn't necessarily bad trans anatomy per se, it's just very confusing. Yes, gay people are all homophobic. It's homophobic to be gay. It's homophobic to be trans. What is this? The one thing you will never be able to do is produce eggs, have babies, and breastfeed those babies. And you will never have the extra rib God took from Adam to make Eve. You may feel like a woman, but you are not a female. Fact. There are many women, cis and trans, who don't produce eggs and can't have babies and can't breastfeed. Also, just on this whole extra rib thing, it takes an incredibly quick Google search to show that that is not true. Around 1 in 200 people are born with an extra rib. It's not a thing that everyone assigned female at birth has an extra rib. Transition is conversion for kids with gender dysphoria. Hashtag LGB without the T. Oh, look, what's that down there? Oh, LGB Alliance, the organisation that claims to not be transphobic, they just want to pursue LGB rights separate from trans people. This person showed up to a protest when it was announced that the conversion therapy ban in the UK would not include trans people, because they think that transition is conversion, specifically for kids with gender dysphoria. Where they've got this idea from, I don't know. They're just transphobic. That's literally it. Patient sex at birth, male, female, unknown/prefer not to answer. Patient current gender, male, female, trans to female, trans to male, unknown/prefer not to answer. Did they try? I don't know if this counts as trying. I am a trans man and I would click under current gender male. I would have no idea which of the trans options to put. I would assume trans to male, but not that that's even a thing. You don't trans to, what are they even trying to say? Are they trying to be like, you transed? It's just so wrong that I can kind of guess at what they were trying to say and think I could put what they would expect me to put based on being a trans man. But then it's so wrong I don't actually know if I would be right in what I'd put. So you identify as a woman. That's great. Which one? Which woman do you identify as? Which one? The woman that created me cell by cell and gave birth to me is my polar opposite. Which woman do you identify as? Are you more like me? Maybe I'm too butch. So are you more like my mother? Maybe she's too unemotional. So how about my grandmother? No, that's not it either. Which woman do you feel like? You must have a woman you identify with because no two women are alike. Show me whose body you were meant to be born in. Whose brain do you have in your body? What? Help! I don't know what this means. Okay, I'm thinking. I feel like maybe they have got the very wrong end of the stick of the saying, like, born in the wrong body. That, can I say, a majority of trans people only use to help cis people understand in some way what it's like to be trans. But that's all I can think of, that they've misinterpreted what that... So, like, a trans woman saying they were born in the wrong body, and they're like, well, if that's not your body, then whose body were you meant to have? When that's not what it means at all. Wow! That was a fun one to end on. And that's all the bad trans anatomy for today. Wasn't that awful? Oh my goodness. If you liked the video, think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, but no pressure. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Much love. Bye!